Thanks for staying with us. So following the recent commemoration of World Health Day, which was last Wednesday, the 28th of April, with the theme Anticipate, Prepare, and Respond to Crisis. Join us on the show to discuss investing in resilient occupational safety and health systems, and also to focus on investing time and resources to maintain hygiene practice in preventing domestic accidents post-COVID-19 is an administrator and a safety solution consultant, Dominga Odebunmi. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Safety, generally, and I think it's one of the things that we're not very accustomed to in this part of the world. We just take things for granted, you know. People will be all right, you know, let's do it anyhow. You know, talk about low balconies, you know, slippery tiles at public places, unhygienic toilets, you know. How do we begin? What are those things in your own profession that you've seen that we've been very complacent about? And how can we begin to fix it and change the thinking of Nigerians towards it?
Amazing. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on this show. And I'm sure it's an opportunity to enlighten the viewers. And yes, of course, we do take it seriously. It's just that we don't act it. Now, you hear a lot of people say different things concerning, well, if somebody is drawing your attention to something that could be hazardous, instantly there's a reaction. Whoop, God forbid. So we take it seriously. It's just that we don't act it. We don't actually prevent those things. You know, we say a lot of things about it. Oh, no, not my passion. Put it away. You know, so we don't want those negative things. We don't want the accidents. But then how much are we doing to prevent them? That's really the issue. And so, for example, I mean, this is just a better, there can be a better time to really take this on a high level. We've had pandemic, I mean, the COVID pandemic. It's highlighted the need for us to be extremely hygienic, keeping our hands clean, you know, maintaining our safe zone, safe area, and also caring for each other, to be honest, because even if you don't think about yourself, you know, think about somebody else. Think about someone who is more vulnerable, someone who has health challenge, you know, that can really learn and benefit. Right. Now, our homes, seriously, government can only do as much to do with our workplaces, but we are responsible for what we do in our homes. And that's really what I'm going to talk about today, domestic accidents. Right, how do we prevent them?
Yes, okay. So, first of all, I just want to say, growing up, we always hear this thing, this is not the kill African man. I wonder where that came from, you know. We just feel like, you're African. In fact, when COVID came, we were so sure that our superior bloodline was going to protect us from it. But that's just on the lighter note. But talking about safety at home, there's something I noticed that many homes in Nigeria don't have. That's the, like the exit, the safety exit. We don't have that. We build our houses sometimes so close to each other. And then neighbors, we all have our generators, and we know how those can be hazardous. We have, you know, different things. So why isn't that part of our plan? Is it, why? What should we do now? If you've already built a house, what do you need to do to have that? And is it important, really?
That's the word. Yes, it's very important, because life, there's no duplicate to life. And so there's not an amount of, and that's what the theme of the World Day for Safety is actually stressing, that you need to invest, you know, reinvest into that resilience, invest into the prevention. If you have to break some windows to put your gas cylinder outside of your house and then pass the pipe in, so be it, you know, but that's protecting yourself. Don't think about, okay, this morning, how am I going to spend so much, you know, to avoid that.
But if I'm staying in a rented flat, I go and break landlord's door or landlord's wall. Now, wahala be that?
Well, it's not wahala, because if there is a fire outbreak, the landlord's house is also coming down. So
I'd like you to just pinpoint those various places within the house. So you talked about the kitchen, the gasoline outside.
Yes, yes.
What else can we do within the house?
Within the house, the first one, which is very common, is, we want to put beautiful tiles in our house. We want it to look really nice. Those things are slippery. So really, if you have children, it's not the best thing to do, to have tiles in your house, because even if they fall on a carpet or if they fall on some wood or something of that nature, the harm will not be as bad. Now, if you now have tiles, put some non-slippery rock that would firm up on it and avoid them carrying water around because water and tiles don't mix. And that takes me to the bathroom. A lot of us have so beautiful bathrooms. In fact, there was a time we did a campaign about 7 years ago. We actually took, this was when I was in Lagos State government, and we took the campaign of the hazards, preventing hazards in our home to our big men, our big women that have expensive houses, that have, you know, very expensive tiles in their home. And one of them was actually telling us with a crutch, you know, telling us that that's exactly what injured him. And that he really is not sure whether he can still work with those legs. And what am I saying about this bathroom? If it's either a bathroom, remove the bath if you don't need, if you don't bath. We don't bath in Nigeria, we shower. And in your
so the shower is
cubicle,
safer than the
well,
toilet?
yeah, to an extent. To an extent, yes, it is. Now, if you do have a bath, then make sure you have your rails for holding, for support.
Let me pause it for a second. We need to go back to that bath issue. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on the issue of safety. And Tokwe, go ahead.
Well, you were explaining about the importance of having rails in the bathrooms. The real challenge is that many accidents happen, deaths happen based on this baths and this bathroom crisis that is not reported as that's what caused the death. You just said, oh, somebody slipped and died. Absolutely. Oh, somebody slipped. But that's the slip and died usually the bathroom hitting your head. Absolutely. And then nobody to take care of to come to the person's aid. What are the essential things to have in the bathroom to help prevent these things from happening?
Well, like we said earlier on, if you can afford to remove the bath and you don't really soak, because that's really what the bath is for. It's for you to lie in and soak. And if you don't do that, because I can't even remember the last time I, soaked. So, have a shower. Now, shower also has its own as well. Don't remove bath and then put slippery tiles in the shower.
So there are tiles that are not slippery.
Absolutely. They have very rough, well, even if they're more expensive, but at least they save your life. They save the accidents, they prevent those things. And to be honest with you, most times they're not as expensive as the shiny ones because it doesn't look glossy. It doesn't look attractive.
When you said this thing, something just came to my head because I remember that my son, when my son was about, I think, 3 or 4 years old, I helped bath for him. And I saw her in the room, and I'm like, where is the person? He was in the bathroom coming out himself. I went to the tub, and I saw him trying to maneuver. And I'm like, oh, my goodness, never leave a child in the tub.
Unattended.
In the tub.
In the tub, in the shower, on vulnerable places. So, and then another thing is also the soap itself, the lather. Slippery. It makes it more slippery. So, but then these are things that we still have to, we must have a shower. I mean, we will have a shower, we'll have a bath.
So there's one more, let me just add to that bathroom. Yeah, that tub one as well. So for me, I took out the thing you use to stop water. Because the kids tend to just fill it up and play. And we've had many drowning incidents.
Absolutely.
So I take it away. I mean, they don't have it. And when they have to use it, I'm there.
A child should be left in the bath unattended.
Definitely not. Definitely
the other day,
not.
my brother's daughter, she got into my bath. I was in the other room, and she had been with the girl. And I said, well, she said she's in the bath. And I went to the bath, and she was there. She had entered the bath by herself.
Oh, Lord.
And she's only 2. I said, come.
People don't understand that.
And then they see there's this tendency for them to want to think they're swimming.
Yes.
You haven't taken them,
and they don't even know how to.
You haven't taken them swimming, and they're thinking, okay, maybe they've been once or twice. I'm like, this is lots of water. This is
And the
cool.
shower, I know somebody who actually mistakenly walked through a glass in the shower. So you have, she don't have the tub, but she had the glass, and she totally forgot. She forgot that there's a glass door, and she just walked right into it after the shower.
Yes, I was actually going to draw that into another part of the house, because then you can also have that demarcating kitchen to front room, balcony, and things like that, or sliding doors and things. If you do have those kind of clear glass, then try and make a bit of opaque you know, design around it. So at least the person coming can see. You might not want to deface, you know, the house, but, you know, you can put this, you know, frosting, you know, just make it frosted in one area.
I know me have to face my own. Because the children will just walk into the door.
So frosted or not?
Just put sticker everywhere.
Taking you back to the back, sorry, Tope. Somebody was saying something about bath mats in there. Yes, as safe as they can be, they also wear out. The suction under the mat, you know, eventually will wear, and then they would also slip.
Yeah, mine has actually. I just felt it too. Yesterday, I mean, it's
then
usually
it becomes,
but it doesn't grip anymore. Now it's slidey.
Yeah.
It's actually
Change
time
it.
for me to change.
You need to
I
change
want to
it.
go back into the construction part. Being into real estate, it dawns on me that when we plan, we don't actively, the average developer is looking for how to spend as little money and maximize the space. So we're not taking into consideration that these two houses are too close together, fire will spread.
Yes.
We're not taking into consideration the fact that where is the fire escape? A deliberate fire escape, not front door, back door, the fire escape.
Absolutely.
And I was talking to an architect and we came up with a suggestion for something we're working on that there should be an option of a window without burglary that you could open out.
Yes,
and there should be like a ladder-ish. But now the worry is because of robbery. So what I drew from was we watch Hollywood movies where the ladders drop and they can be hung. So you have a drop-down ladder in a window that is upstairs where you can escape if there is anything happening downstairs. And I think that can be an easier modification than having to break anything down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know
You
the
don't have to
funniest
break.
thing? I don't like burglary proof. Because armed robber that wants to enter your house is not going to be cutting any burglary proof. He will stroll inside with you and show you gone.
Like he's
So
not.
whether you have burglary proof or you don't have, so I don't have burglary proof.
Please let me tell my,
You shouldn't have said
my
that,
mother that one because her house is 36 years old and that if we know the burglary proof.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Jesus Christ!
Well, some people
Like a
have
cage.
just cut the burglary. They haven't actually totally removed everything. They've made like where you can have like a lock around it. They've made it with a hinge, so you can still lock it, but make sure that the key is quite close to where you can
So we
access
talk about
to
the bathroom, we talk about the kitchen. What else can we do within the house? Because we talk about
Within the
domestic
house,
safety.
yes.
Living room when you
The
have
stairs.
some
No, before I think we'll do that on the way out of the house. You know, let's do the front room, the sitting room, where we all play. For those who have children, naturally, allow your children to understand that, you know, they're also responsible to be tidy, because when you have untidy environment, you're likely to have sleep, trips, and falls.
Right.
So those are part of the training that one should give the children. They should understand it. They're not too small to understand tidiness. You know, it's time, okay, you finished you don't make your toys all over the place. Somebody hits the toy or steps on it and then trips over, falls and hits the head on the edge of the furniture or the edge of the chair. You know, that's still a danger as well.
Those tables, those
So those who have dining tables, glass dining tables with sharp edges.
You will not believe I got this really, in fact, myself and my husband,
beautiful like that.
center
That's
table.
usually the issue.
We saved money to go and buy this beautiful center table. It was quite pricey. We liked it. We put it in the living room. This small baby we had used his head to hit it.
He used his head to hit it, or you put it where his head.
Carry this thing out. So unfortunately, my living room doesn't have a center table, and I'm so pained. You know, but I know
it's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice.
Let them grow.
The safety.
I'll give you this thing
corners.
you can put on the table.
Right?
The edges.
Right? Let me take Afolayan and come to Mariam. Afolayan, are you there from Lagos?
Yes, I'm here with you. Good
You're
morning.
live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
What a good contribution. What a good topic
Yes.
on safety. I'm a safety-related person. I handle some of the anti-slip products with banks, with some of our familiar banks. But the problem we are having now is that we don't value safety in this part of the world, which is a crucial problem. When you introduce some of the, take for instance, like my product, we call it anti-slip product, anti-slip stair nosing. When you introduce it to people, they say, what is the need? They wouldn't look at the risk aspect of it. Which the person you brought online has talked about some of the risk and some of the domestic damages it has caused to so many houses. Some of us, we went out, we come in with our shoe, maybe we have stepped on oil, some invisible objects, and we come in on the we come in walking on the ties. One can easily slip off. And the kind of ties we use in this part of the world, yes, we want better things. We want something that are attractive, but they are risky to us. They endanger us day in, day out. I think there is need for publicity on the use of the kind of ties we use.
Right.
Action.
Thank you very much, Afolayan. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, okay, you were talking about the living room and some of the hazards that can happen.
The tables, the
side
tables
edges.
that are four corner.
Yeah, but do you know there's something for me that bothers me most, and it's the generator fumes from your neighbors. I feel that's a serious safety
absolutely
hazard.
It is.
Especially when you have children, they're sleeping and their window overlooks maybe a neighbor's house. They have their thing, the hose or whatever that comes out of their gen right behind your window.
Yeah.
What can a person do? Because you know you were saying the government can only do so much. Really? Because
the government is not going to come and enforce things inside your house. Gone were the days when we had Willy in those very early years, you know. But I mean, there's so many more pressing issues that governments are demanding from the government. But let's take responsibility of our own homes and of our own environments. Let's have more NGOs talk a lot more about this. And nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to go to the hospital.
Should I go and meet my neighbor and say,
it's a community engagement.
experience.
Hold meetings. You know, go to meetings and you know, try and negotiate and discuss about things. I mean, you guys talk a lot about you know, talk about it, have a dialogue. You know, if it's happening to them, they won't like it either. So please, can you do something about this to change the direction, put it up? You know,
we
need
did.
to. Yes.
We put it up because when we moved in, we didn't have a next door neighbor. But when they moved in, they complained that the generator, so we had to do it going up.
So but I have to go on a break because I mean I had that experience before when my husband actually got into a fight with somebody because the woman, her husband wasn't around, and she had a little boy. All night, every night, the baby would be crying, coughing, can't sleep. She didn't have the right to go and tell the person whose generator was near her window. She just came to us because we were approachable. And she begged my husband. My husband went, you know, politely, sir, please remove your generator from this woman's. Over like a few months, the woman kept crying and complaining. All night, we'd be hearing the child cough. Oh, Lord. My husband had to go and meet the man at like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. Turn off the generator, carry it away, and put it. And that's why Wahala started. So, you see, we need people
to be responsible.
That's my word for the season. Thank you very much. That's my word for the season. Stay with us to be right back.
You have to be responsible.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we still have our guest in the building talking on safety. Let's take a few tweets. YK, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to take one, and I wanted you to. His name is Festus Akimbo. He says the thing that annoys me the most is anytime I visit Nigeria is the level of noise and the big number of people that willfully engage in creating noise nuisance everywhere.
It happens in homes. So you have a mosque, you have a church, but throughout COVID, the churches in my area, they all just, when nobody was doing anything, there was no overnight, there was no vigil, we slept well. I think just last week, they resumed work. I mean, usually they have their Sunday services, which is normal. You know, their midweek service, which is normal. But just last week, they started the night services. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, so the speakers are out. So this is still domestic because it's in our homes. As a safety expert, what can we do to reduce the noise pollution around us?
It actually crosses with regulatory as well. And I'm sure that's part of what LASEPA does, which is, the protection agency. But before then, like we said earlier on, we just have to be responsible citizens. We have to be caring for each other. We have to care for each other. We must engage. Now, there are meetings that take place. We used to have those meetings in those days when some people would just sleep. But yes, there's no meeting again. But create meetings, engage with the neighbors. By the time you gather 1, 2 more people talking about a specific issue, and you all go amicably to go and meet the leaders of such places. I mean, they're expecting people to come and worship. And the people that you want to come and worship, let's say they live in the neighborhood, and you're already disturbing them, you know, they will do something about it. You know, so you just have to be persistent. You have to be consistent. You have a dialogue.
There's a message I want you to address. Somebody sent me a private message. Okay? She says that, ask your guests. Myself and my husband make our private bedrooms our sacred place to do all the... How our children have somewhat found out our gadgets, and we've been trying to keep it safe from them. So how do we ensure our room is still... I think what you're trying to say is that the room has you know, when you make your room like this place where very, very, you know, erotic room where it's just you and Oga. Okay. And when the kids are coming through the day, you make it normal. But somehow they find these things. Is it this, would you advise her that they shouldn't even do this in the house at all? Because they will say that...
Yeah, we said it's on the road.
You know, when you have children in the house, how do you do it? I mean, we're different. You are an adult. You are in the 60s.
No entry.
I am a young woman. I have children in the house. Should I be in my house with all these gadgets?
Well, honestly speaking, you have to be, we said, responsible now.
Right. Yeah.
And we also have to think of the children. As much as you want to have your own space and your pleasure, you have to have a balance. Okay. You have to think
tell that to the husbands.
Yes, you have to have a balance. You have to have a balance.
In the sense that... I think what you would do is have a room where you lock these things and the children don't have access.
In the house?
Children are curious.
The children we have nowadays, they will teach you things that you've not been able to find out on your system.
What is that chain for? What is that handcuff for? What is that rope for? They'll be asking those kind of questions.
Are you using handcuffs?
Not me. I'm just saying that, listen, we are adults. We are adults here. And we're talking about safety in the homes. Yes. The bedroom is our sacred place. Yes. And things happen there that nobody knows. Right? That nobody's supposed to know. Yes. So how do you keep that place safe from children?
Well, the dialogue. We need to also let the children understand. Yes, we are adults, you're grown up, and that's part of what you teach them when they're not supposed to go on Sunday things, on the phone, where they're not supposed. So they must understand boundaries, no doubt, and at the same time, you don't want to flaunt your privacy, you know, in their faces as well.
Can you just put on
that's the balance.
Do not
Oh Lord,
enter.
That is when they would enter. Exactly. Because children are naturally curious, you know. But have a word with them, engage them like you do.
But does that also happen to people that have rifles? You know, there are people that have rifles in their homes,
because
and
that's
these
dangerous.
children find it. Yes. And so you said, I mean, these are safety things across board. So we talked about the bathroom, the bedrooms, the kitchen, the living room, the stairs.
We're going to the stairs, and that's what. Yes, the stairs. There's so many stairs that have treads that are so steep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you are thinking, how do we do this? Put a non-slippery tape on the edge. Those things are very cheap. Just put them on the edge. And then there are some that are even reflective. Let's say the light goes off. Okay. You could just put it on the edge, those tips. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have it in posh places. You can have it in your home, and they are really, really cheap. Just stick them. Yes, and you reflect. Because when the light goes off, before you go and put this on and put that, but at least you can see it glowing. So you know, things. So those are tapes, very simple.
There's a couple of days ago when the light went off. I was coming down the stairs, the light went off.
Yeah.
And then I misjudged the next step, and I went boom.
Exactly.
Now, let's go back to the kitchen for a minute. I don't know if you have a question concerning that.
So when we talk about the kitchen, putting the gas outside, there are other things that electrical appliances that we must be careful about. How can we better protect ourselves against gas outside electrical appliances?
Electrical appliances, don't put them near water. First of all, we were talking about design the other time. You know, when kitchens or homes are being designed, that's really where the safety should have been imputed. We mentioned that, okay, fine, this house has been built. How do you then amend it and things like that? Your kitchen should have a flow of an L shape, L operation. So where you have water, preparation and things like that, and then cooking, and then it's like those industrial kitchen, you can mirror it in your house as well. Not all over the place. You have water on this side, water on that side. There's no dry space for you. So those are the areas where you should put your sockets.
Let me ask about fumigation. Okay, because people fumigate. We need to fumigate. There are cockroaches, ants, and all that in the houses. But what time frame do you have? Because some will say you take the kids out for an hour, 2 hours, is it a weekend, is it a day? What's the best time to fumigate and then re-enter the house?
I'm not a fan of fumigation, honestly speaking, but then if you have to use it, yes, of course, you have to. The reason why I'm not a fan of fumigation is because it's a chemical.
Okay.
We didn't really talk about the chemicals of where some people put kerosene, petrol, and things like that in drinking bottles, not many brands now. They don't even remove the label from them, and then they just put them there. So going back to fumigation, they're chemicals. So really, there's a deposit at some point. Now, why do you need to fumigate? Cleanliness is what it is. Why do you have cockroach? Cockroach will be attracted to grease. So flush with hot water, clean. You will have less times to need to fumigate. You know, oftentimes we don't want to do the thorough hot wash. We don't want to do the thorough, we're busy. Rodents will not come if you block the access, if you put your rubbish in right places. That brings us to separating your waste. If you separate your waste inside your house, the ones that actually smell and draw those insects or those rodents are very small. Those are the perishable things. The things that really mount up are the boxes, boxes, tissues. So you will not need to fumigate. Now, going back to your question, yes, of course, once you've fumigated, there are different grades and there are different instructions on them. Ask them, how many hours do we need to keep away? And then how many, minutes and things like that. And then when you come back, you also need to clean, because you will have deposits of the chemicals and things.
Don't just go right into it.
Don't just go into it. You know, you still need to clean. You cover your pores.
But this one is very important. I needed to, you know, these plugs, little babies, when they just start walking, they go and put their hands in those plugs.
Yes.
You know, what can you do? Because in England now, the
plug covers. Put the plug covers.
Put
plug covers. They're plastics. These things can be made here. They're just plastics. We have plastic slippers, plastic bag. Let somebody start creating them. It could be made. You know, plastic, you know.
Unfortunately,
there's a lot to talk about safety. I'm sorry. I'm cutting you, but...
It's okay. You know? I mean, we've learned a few things. I don't think I have time for tweets, but we've learned quite a bit from you today. Thank you so much for contributing to this topic. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll take those tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.